Welcome back to Daily Dose of Hebrew. We're glad that you joined us today. Let's begin the day with the reading and translation of the Hebrew text in 1 Samuel 3:15. Vayishkav Shemuel ad haboker, vayiftach et daltot beit Adonai, uShemuel yareh mehagid et hamarah el Eli. And we get, for an overall translation here, to just kind of see the whole package together, we would get something like this. And then Samuel laid down until morning. And then he opened the doors of the house of the Lord. Now Samuel feared to declare the vision to Eli. That'd be a whole translation there. Now let's break this down a little bit. The verse opens with the standard narrative progression with the Vav consecutive on an imperfect. The verb here is a call imperfect 3ms of the root shakav, shin kaf, beit, meaning to lie down. Samuel here is the subject, and this opening clause finishes the narrative from the previous verse. After the Lord's oath to destroy Eli's house, the narrative now resumes with, and then, or and so, Samuel lied down. The prepositional phrase explains how long he laid down until morning. And the next clause begins with the Vav consecutive on another call imperfect 3ms. At this time, the root is patach, or pei tav chet, meaning to open. Now, I remember this vocabulary word because the Hebrew vowel, a patach, is kind of like a little two-dimensional gate that you can open, so you can open the gate. Now, maybe that's dumb, but it worked for me. So notice here, though, that as in Yishkav before, if we jump back over there, this dagesh in the R2 is only a dagesh lene, and we see it also in Vayiftach. This is not indicative of an intensive stem like a PL or a Hithpael. These verbs both have begad kefat letters preceded by the silent shva, or the absence of sound. That begad kefat letter occurs in the R2 position. So these are just dagesh lenes, not indicative of intensive stems. The clause continues with the direct object of what Samuel opened. He opened the doors. Now, doors here is a plural, and you'll notice the feminine plural ot on the end. Now, the question is whether this is the absolute or construct noun ending. In the feminine plural, remember that the ending is the same in both the absolute and the construct. Now, being a segulate noun, the root noun here is delit, a segulate noun, doesn't give any indication in the vowels as to whether it is absolute or construct. However, look at the accents. The marika here is a conjunctive accent, and so it runs the word doors into the next genitive, the house of the Lord. So we get as the whole direct object, the doors of the house of the Lord. Now, I bring up the issue of the construct because this one long construct chain, one thing I want to point out is that I translated this as the doors of the house of the Lord, but the definite article is not on the word daltot. Well, you could explain that the definite direct object marker et indicates that it is definite, but the definite direct object marker doesn't make a word definite. It merely marks the already definite direct object. So in this case, the construct chain is already definite, and it is definite because the ending noun of the package is definite, and that makes the whole chain definite. So there is only one house of the Lord, and so there is a specific, a definite set of doors that are referred to here. So all that to say, it is entirely appropriate to translate this as the doors of the house of the Lord, even though the definite article is nowhere to be found on daltot. Now finally, after the athnach, we get a nominal clause with Samuel as the initiator. The narrative had Samuel lying down and then opening the doors, but now the narrative is going to give us some character information about Samuel. So kind of some background in Samuel's mind, and hence the Vav consecutive sequence is broken by a Vav plus a noun to introduce a nominal clause. After introducing the nominal initiator here, Samuel, the nominal clause moves to the announcement, or what the initiator did. And in this case, Samuel feared, or Samuel was afraid. The verb is a call perfect 3ms of the root yara, yod resh aleph. Now, a common way that Hebrew expresses the object that is feared is actually with the men preposition, and we see it here. There are examples of Israel being afraid from the Lord God, or in good English, they would be afraid of the Lord God. When the object that is feared is an infinitive, as we have it here with hagid, which again is the hifil infinitive construct of the root nagad, the translation would literally be, now Samuel feared from declaring the vision to Eli. Now, of course, that sounds odd to our English ears, and so often this men preposition gets left out of a good English translation, and we could just say, now Samuel was afraid to declare the vision to Eli. However, it's good to keep in mind that Hebrew often uses this men preposition to express the object that is feared. So again, we'll finish with a whole translation of the verse today one final time. Then Samuel laid down until the morning, and then he opened the doors of the house of the Lord. Now Samuel was afraid to declare the vision to Eli. That does it today for today. I want to thank you for joining us, and until next time, shalom.